When I walked into my studio that morning, the smell hit me before I even saw it: burnt plastic, shattered glass, wet carpet. My heart stopped. I froze at the door, staring at what used to be my dream, now turned into a graveyard of melted wires and broken speakers. My $120,000 recording studio, everything I'd built from scratch, was gone, completely destroyed, and the worst part, my brother did it, and my sister filmed it. They called it content. Tell me, what would you have done if your own siblings laughed while burning down your entire life's work? Would you have forgiven them, or would you have done what I did next? It all started about 3 years ago, when my life finally started going right. I'd spent almost a decade scraping through odd jobs, from delivering pizzas to working overnight shifts at a factory, just to save enough to open my own recording studio. Music had always been my escape, my therapy, my one true dream. When I finally opened Echo House Studios, it felt like proof that hard work actually meant something. I poured every penny, every hour, every ounce of energy into that place. I built soundproof walls with my own hands, designed the acoustic layout, imported vintage equipment from Germany, and even painted the walls myself. That place wasn't just a studio, it was a reflection of my soul. Now, my brother, Jason, had always been the funny guy, the kind who lived for social media attention. He ran a small YouTube prank channel, nothing major, just typical dumb stunts and clickbait stuff. And my sister, Kelly, she'd been helping him film and edit his videos. They weren't bad people, at least that's what I kept telling myself, but they were careless, immature, and addicted to online validation. Every conversation with them eventually turned into, "Bro, imagine if we filmed this," or "Kelly, this would get 1 million views." They were obsessed with numbers, likes, subscribers, and viral fame. Meanwhile, I was focused on something real, something lasting. But success changes how people see you. Once my studio started gaining attention, local artists recording there, 1 or 2 regional hits coming out of it, suddenly Jason and Kelly started acting like they were part of it. "We're family," they'd say. "We helped hype your stuff up on social media." Which, to be fair, they did share a few of my studio posts, but nothing that justified their sudden sense of ownership. Then came the request that changed everything. Jason called me one night, super excited. "Yo, man, I've got this crazy prank idea. I want to film it in your studio." I didn't even let him finish. I told him straight up, "No, that place is not for pranks. It's my livelihood." He laughed it off, said, "Come on, bro, lighten up. It's harmless." But I held firm. I told him if he wanted to prank someone, he could use his own apartment. A week later, I found out they'd been sneaking into my studio when I wasn't there. My building had security cameras, cheap ones at the entrance, but still. When I checked the footage, I saw Jason and Kelly unlocking my studio door using the spare key I'd given my mom for emergencies. They didn't even ask me. I confronted them, furious, but they brushed it off as just checking the place out. Jason said, "Relax, man, we didn't break anything." And Kelly added, "You're so uptight. It's just a room." Just a room. That's when I realized they didn't understand. They never would. I changed the locks. I thought that was the end of it, but I was wrong. So wrong. About a month later, Jason posted a video called "Pranking My Boring Brother at His Studio." He freaks out. I didn't even know it existed until my phone started blowing up with texts. Friends, colleagues, even clients sent me the link. I opened it and my jaw dropped. The video started with Jason and Kelly whispering outside my studio, talking about how they were going to make me finally go viral. Then they sneaked inside with buckets of fake slime, glitter, and some kind of smoke bomb. They poured slime on my mixing console worth 20 grand, dumped glitter on my monitors, and filled the air vents with colored smoke. They laughed hysterically as the smoke filled the room, coating everything in a sticky residue. And when I walked in, mid-recording session with a client, the cameras caught my real reaction: shock, rage, disbelief. They edited it all with clown music. I looked insane, yelling and swearing while they giggled behind the lens. The comments were brutal. Half of Jason's viewers thought it was hilarious. The other half thought I was overreacting. Overreacting to them, it was just entertainment to me. It was my life's work. That prank cost me thousands in damages. I demanded they take the video down, but Jason refused. He said it was performing too well. He even offered to give me a cut of the ad revenue, as if money could fix what he'd done. I didn't speak to them for months after that. But apparently, they didn't learn their lesson. Fast forward 6 months. I'd rebuilt everything. New gear, better sound system, upgraded acoustics. I even got a small loan to expand the place. Things were finally going right again. And then came the day that changed everything. It was a Sunday morning. I got a call from my neighbor who owned the store next door. He said, "Hey man, there's smoke coming out of your building." My heart dropped. I raced there in minutes. When I arrived, fire trucks were already there, and my studio, my dream, was engulfed in flames. The firefighters did their best, but by the time they put it out, everything was gone. Burned beyond recognition. At first, I thought it was an accident, maybe an electrical short, maybe bad wiring, but then I saw them, Jason and Kelly, standing across the street. Jason was holding his phone. Kelly was crying, but not from guilt, from shock, because she hadn't expected it to go that far. They'd been filming, again. Later that night, someone sent me a link. Jason had gone live on his channel. The title, "Insane Studio Experiment Gone Wrong, We Messed Up Bad." I clicked it, and what I saw made my blood boil. They'd planned to do another viral stunt, pretending to blow up part of my studio with controlled smoke effects. Except this time, they brought fireworks, actual fireworks. Jason thought it would look cooler on camera. The sparks hit the curtains caught fire, and instead of stopping, they kept filming. Kelly was screaming, "Jason, stop," while he laughed, saying, "It's fine, it's just a small fire," until it wasn't. The next morning, the video was everywhere. People were outraged not at me, but at them. It was clear from the footage that I had no idea what they were doing. Insurance refused to cover the full amount because it was caused by unauthorized use and negligence. I was ruined. My savings were gone. My studio was gone. My reputation, at least in the local scene, took a hit because clients thought I was somehow involved. I hit rock bottom, and the people who did it, my own family, that's when something in me broke. I wasn't going to let them get away with it. You see, Jason and Kelly had built their little online empire off shock value. They thrived on controversy, but they never thought the real world had consequences. So I decided to show them what that looked like. Before I tell you what happened next, I want you to pause and tell me, what would you have done if your own siblings destroyed your life for content? Would you go to the police, sue them, cut them off forever, or would you make them feel exactly what you felt? Because that's the choice I had to make. I started by gathering evidence, every message, every video clip, every receipt. I downloaded their videos before they could delete them. I pulled the security footage from nearby businesses showing them entering my property. I even hired a digital forensics expert to extract deleted clips from Jason's hard drive that he thought he'd wiped. What I found was sickening. They'd planned multiple studio stunts in a group chat with other YouTubers. They joked about getting me to cry again, calling it easy views. One of them even said, if the fire looks real enough, he might actually lose it. It wasn't just a prank. It was premeditated humiliation. I took it all to the police. Arson, vandalism, trespassing, the works. Jason tried to play dumb at first, saying it was all an accident, but the messages and recovered footage proved otherwise. The police arrested both of them. The video evidence was undeniable. The case went public. News outlets picked it up. YouTubers charged after studio fire. It went viral for all the wrong reasons. Their sponsors pulled out. Their channels were demonetized. Their followers turned on them. Jason's channel was deleted within a week. Kelly's editing gigs vanished overnight. And me, I didn't feel joy, just relief. But that wasn't the end. During the trial, my mom begged me to drop the charges. She cried, saying, "They're your family, you can't destroy their lives." I told her they destroyed mine first. I didn't back down. Jason ended up serving 6 months in jail for property destruction and reckless endangerment. Kelly got probation because she cooperated and testified against him. I thought that would be enough, but fate had one more twist for me. About a year later, I got a letter from Jason. It was handwritten, full of apologies. He said prison had changed him, that he realized how toxic he'd become chasing views. He begged for forgiveness, said he wanted to make things right. I didn't respond. How do you forgive someone who laughed while your dreams burned? Still, over time, I found a strange kind of peace. I rebuilt again, not the same studio, but something smaller, more personal. I called it Phoenix Sound, because like the bird, I rose from the ashes. I worked alone, no family, no distractions. I poured my pain into my music. Eventually, artists started coming back. My story spread, and some people even respected me more for how I handled it. Ironically, Jason and Kelly's downfall made me more known than any marketing campaign ever could. People wanted to work with the guy who stood his ground. A few months ago, Kelly reached out. She said she was working a regular job now, editing wedding videos. She sounded genuine, broken even. She apologized too, and this time I believed her. She told me she regretted ever picking up that camera, that she missed having a brother. I didn't know what to say. I told her I forgave her, but that forgiveness doesn't mean things go back to how they were. She cried and thanked me anyway. As for Jason, I heard he moved to another state, trying to start over. He'll never have his audience back, and honestly, maybe that's for the best. Fame without conscience is poison. Sometimes, late at night, I replay that day in my mind, the flames, the smell, the betrayal. And I think about how easily everything can vanish because someone thinks they're invincible behind a camera. But I also think about resilience, about how sometimes losing everything forces you to see who you really are. I learned that revenge isn't always about destruction. Sometimes it's about taking back your power. And I did that. I ended their careers, yes, but more importantly, I took control of my story again. If you've ever had someone betray you, especially family, you know that forgiveness isn't easy. But trust me, the best revenge isn't hate. It's success. It's peace. It's building something again, even when everyone expects you to stay broken. And if Jason ever watches this, I want him to know I don't hate you anymore, but I'll never forget. So yeah, that's my story. My brother destroyed my $120,000 studio while my sister filmed it, and I ended both their careers forever. Do I regret it? Not one bit. Actions have consequences, and if this story taught me anything, it's that loyalty should never be taken for granted. If you were on my side through all of this, like this video right now, subscribe for more stories like this, real, raw, and sometimes hard to believe. And tell me in the comments what you would have done if you were in my shoes. Would you have forgiven them or burned the bridge completely? I'll see you all in the next story.